You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
That's the wine and diner with kings and queens.
You're looking at the man. You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Thursday, 5 p.m. on the dot, Central Time, here in San Antonio, Texas. It's friggin' hot, by the way. I just thought I'd throw that in here. I was just mentioning, if you hear a noise in the background, that's my fan, and I would turn it off, but it's too friggin' hot outside. I have it set on 1. That's the lowest I'm going to go, but hopefully it doesn't get in the way of editing, which it usually doesn't, but yeah, it's too freaking hot here. It's Antonio. The next, I think for next few days or for the whole week, we're going to be getting rain. We're going to be getting thunder, which I've yet to see. I only saw a little bit of it yesterday when I was on my run. It started drizzling. It wasn't raining. It wasn't really raining. It was just drizzle. Helped me get in a good run though. Yeah, lately, since the last week, I've been waking up early to go running. Really out of shape, especially for my height. Last I checked, I was 230, and that's considered obese for my height. Like a healthy height for me is supposed to be like 150, which is going to take a lot of work to get there. I mean, if I can get to maybe 180, 175. I think that'll be perfect for me. You know, if I'm able to fit into large t-shirts, that'll be awesome. I mean, I can still wear large shirts. It's just, I guess, depending on the fabric or the material, it feels like it's really tight, and you can still see like bellies coming out. And that's mainly where all my weight's coming at. Like it's all belly. It's all stomach. It's not like, you know. I was never naturally big growing up. I've always been very skinny. Like, you know, in high school, I was very skinny. Same thing in middle school. And then as I got older, I guess I got too comfortable, and I just splurged and just became a couch potato. And it's a weird thing. I have a gym membership. I hardly use it even before this pandemic. I mean, I'm not sure if gyms are open already, but obviously, I'm going to use that as inspiration to go back. But lately, I've been running. I've been running around my neighborhood, usually for about 20-minute run. I get in at least maybe 2.5 miles, which is good. But I want to keep pushing myself to where it's 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles. I talked to John Draper about this. John Draper, very much into fitness. He's talked about it before. He gets up every morning and runs for 8 miles, 9 miles, which that's something you're going to need to work hard for. I mean, that's like a strict diet every freaking day. You got to make sure you're taking care of yourself and not just like, okay, I'm going to run. Now I'm going to eat a bacon cheeseburger. Like, no, for me, how I've been able to kind of handle, I guess, I don't even know if I want to call it a diet. I mean, just making sure I'm not eating certain things. Like, I've cut out red meat. So, like, a hamburger. I'm not going to eat a hamburger. Or bacon. Or, a steak. I'm cutting that. And soda. Soda, it's weird because soda, I've been able to cut that out and live without it. Like, I can live off of just tea and water. Especially water with lemon, because, I'm fancy like that. But, like, it's one of those things where it's just like, if I have a soda in my hand, I'm going to drink it, and then I want to drink another. Like that's truly my vice, and soda truly is it's a drug. it's a drug. You can get hooked on it. If you get hooked on it, it's it's not going to work out well for you. Especially diet soda. Diet soda is supposed to be worse, so I stay away from diet sodas. But yeah, for the past 2 weeks, I haven't had any sodas. No red meat. Well, I mean, I had some sausage and vegetables, but I mean, that wasn't really that big of a deal. So, but I've been trying to keep on the narrow path of health-ish. Also, no processed foods like ramen noodles or hot Cheetos. Like good shit, like stuff that's actually good. But hey, if I wanna live to see 35, I gotta make small sacrifices. And this time I'm going to stay committed to it. And it's also affecting other areas, which I won't really get into. And if you understood what I was talking about, I'm not getting into that. That's personal. But, yeah. That's pretty much what I've been up to. I'm really just, like everyone else, I really want this pandemic to just be over with. It's weird because I'm an introvert. I never really was the type of person that went out that much. I was another type of guy that wanted to go out all the time. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I wanted to go out, but when I did go out, immediately I was just like, okay, I'm ready to go back home. Like, I don't want to be surrounded by this many people, It's like, when I went out, I kept it simple, I like going to the movies. And it's weird because literally right when all this shit was happening, or even before the shit was happening, the movie theater I live close by, and I'm not sure if anyone has a draft house in the area. We live by a draft house, and it's a movie theater, but it's also kind of like you get more bang for your buck. Instead of just like popcorn, you can also get like a cheeseburger, or fries, or you can get like a whole pizza, or hot wings. You can also get alcoholic beverages. That movie theater had just put out a season pass that just came to San Antonio. And I just signed up for it. I was already using it. And then, the pandemic happened and the theaters had to close down, which I get. I mean, and also to their credit, they weren't charging me for it. They actually sent me an email saying we paused your account. You're not going to get charged for this. As soon as this thing, ends, you can, I guess, reopen your account or whatever, or however it works. So, I just miss going to the movies. That was kind of my thing. Just going to the movies, relaxing, having fun. Going to the mall. Even though I only really went to like a few stores, it was just fun going. Just getting out of the house. And also the obvious, I need a haircut bad. I'm not trying to sound like, I need a haircut. You're trying to keep me from living my right as an American and getting my hair cut. It's like, no, I legit need a haircut. It's getting bad. I seriously cannot pull off long hair, long flowy hair. Like, I was not meant to have long hair. It looks bad. And it's kind of affecting my job. Not in a bad way, but more like we can't have beards at our job. We can't have beards or goatees. We have to be clean shaven. And for me, that sucks. Because, look in the name Yari. It's Middle Eastern. I'm part Middle Eastern. I'm also Irish, but I'm more Middle Eastern. So even when I shave, literally the next day, I'm already growing a stubble. Like, it fucking sucks. Like, I was talking to my bosses yesterday, on Tuesday, they're giving me my review. Because I've been working there since September, and you're on a probationary period for 6 months, and after that, you're good. So they gave me my 6-month review in my 8th month. Go figure. They've been very behind, very busy with a lot of shit. So, they were giving me a review. Good news. Good news, of course. And they had asked me if I had any questions. I'm like, when can I start growing my beard back? 'Cause I feel naked without my beard. Like, I need facial hair. I'm better. I look better with facial hair. Not to sound superficial, but I just prefer facial hair on me. I hate being clean shaven, especially when my hair is, when I have this like wild hippie hair. And they said, pretty much when this whole pandemic thing is over, because it might not be over with for another year. So, a clean shaven Yari for a year. It's. I hate it. I mean, they can at least let us know to trim it. Like, can we just trim it at least? Like, I understand if it like gets all bushy, but can we at least trim it? Like, please. Like, I don't see how having a beard is gonna infect anyone. I don't know. It's weird, but that's basically my life in a nutshell, or currently what's going on. What can we get into? I mean, there's obviously a lot of wrestling going on. I did watch AEW. I'll be honest, I did a lot of fast forwarding because I have it on DVR. So even if I miss it live, I can just watch it like right after or the next day. It's better watching the next day because when you watch it right after, there's a certain point where you can't fast forward anymore. You have to continue to watch the whole show. So earlier today, I watched both shows. I did a lot of fast forwarding through AEW. We can go through the card for a bit. I fast forwarded through NXT because I really don't care about the Cruiserweight shit. I'm just going to put it out there. I really don't care. I mean, I think the only guy that matters in it is Drake Maverick because he actually has a story and he actually has a character. Like, I don't care about Jack Gallagher and his weird mid-30s chest tattoo. Who's the Chinese guy? I forget his name. He's the guy that comes out in like glasses and wears like a poofy jacket. He's okay, but Isaiah Swerve Scott, yeah. I was almost going to call him Tony Atlas. Not Tony Atlas. Jake Atlas, that's his name. He's okay. Drake Maverick, I think he's the only one that actually matters, in my opinion. AEW. Haven't looked at the ratings yet. I'm not even sure if the ratings came out. But, no one spoiled that for me. But, look at the card. Lance Archer and Jake Roberts kicked off the show, which is, pretty good. Jake Roberts came out trash-talking Brandy, basically telling her this is a man's ring. You stay at home barefoot and pregnant. Cody comes out in his Toyota truck, or Honda truck, whatever the fuck it is, and it looks like he's going to crash, which he ended up doing, but it looked like he was going to be a lot more interesting than that. Like he was actually going to crash through the barricade and go into the whole arena. No, he just gently speeds up and knocks down a barricade. I mean, granted, where he was pulling up, there wouldn't have been any room for him to go through. He would have really ended up fucking up his whole car. I mean, his whole truck. But I just thought that was kind of funny. It made it look all dramatic, and then he just boop, he just hits the barricade. I'm like, okay. Comes out and fights Lance Archer, and they get into a schmoz, and Jake Roberts tells Archer to stop, and that's pretty much how that went. Segment was all right. Here's where the fast forwarding began. The Jurassic Express versus the Best Friends. Fast forwarded through that. Don't care about either team. I mean, I like Jungle Boy, but that's it. I think Luchasaurus sucks. I find it odd that a guy who looks like a fucking beast, who's literally playing a beast, is trying to move around the ring like he's a cruiserweight. Like, I'm getting tired of these big guys that do these somersault moves and these 450 red arrow splashes. It's like, if you're a big guy, work like a big guy. If you want to add some moves in there, cool, but work like a fucking big guy. Like, come on. And I refuse to watch anything with Marco Stunt. Like, at all. Like, to me, that's a piss break. So, and the Best Friends, they just suck. I mean, if you like them, that's cool. I'm not going to judge you, but I think they suck. Especially Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy sucks ass. Hey, how you doing, Antox? I was just briefly talking about AEW and how I couldn't stand the show. Right, Marco sucks, yeah. Agreed. I mean, I'll watch him get destroyed by MJF next week. I mean, that's all I'll really watch. I'm positive they're going to try and do the whole, well, we gotta make him look strong. We gotta make him look like he has the heart of a lion. I hope they don't do that next week. I hope it's just MJF beating the ever-living piss out of him. Like, you don't believe that Rey Fenix fucks with Mortal Kombat? Last night is proof. Again, I fast-forwarded through a lot of AEW, so there's stuff that I missed. I know Rey Fenix is going to face Orange Cassidy next week, which, if Rey Fenix is not beating the ever-living shit out of Orange Cassidy, I'll politely pass. Yeah, the best friends won. What was the next match? Fatal 4-Way, and it's not telling me shit. Fatal 4-Way match with Hikaru Shida, Dr. Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, and Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford, nice to look at, not very good in the ring. Britt Baker had good character, but not very good in the ring. Chris Statlander, do I need to say it? I forget who Shida is. Is Shida the one dressed as Freddie Mercury? Or am I confusing that with another Asian girl? I'm sure that's Emi Sakura. Okay, my mistake. Different Asian girl. But yeah, again, fast forward through this match. And I was also seeing JD from New York just shit on the match, and JD's usually a big AEW proponent, AEW supporter. He was even shitting on the match. I mean, I could say it's on blue in the face. The women's division is not very good. Yeah, he was even shitting on it, and he's usually very high on anything AEW does. I'm not shitting on JD. I don't know him very well, and he obviously doesn't know me. He doesn't know me, so I don't want this to seem like I'm shitting on him. I'm not. I'm just kind of calling a spade a spade. He's a big AEW guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't judge people like AEW. I don't. If you like AEW, cool. If you like NXT, cool. If you like Impact Wrestling, I will begrudgingly say cool, but I might judge you back. I'm playing, but not really. But the women's division is not very good, and that audible sunset's all true. I plead the fifth. Brian Last from Jim Cornette's podcast, he put out the idea that AEW probably shouldn't even had a women's division to begin with. Like, what they really should have done is focus just on the men, and then eventually build up your women's division. Like, make it look credible. It's like in let's go back to Impact Wrestling for a bit. Remember when TNA was actually good for like a hot minute? That's what they did with their women's division, because in the beginning they focused more on the men, obviously the X division and whatnot. Eventually they built up the Knockouts division, which for a hot minute it looked a lot better than WWE's one division, which it's comparing apples to oranges. At the time, the women's division, the WWE, it was bikini models, it was Kelly Kelly, it was 2-minute bathroom break matches. In TNA you had the Impacts, you had Gail Kim, you had Awesome Kong. I'm forgetting names. What the hell's her name? Roxy Laveau? Is that her name? Who's the chick that had to shave her head? She was actually very good. Their women's division was very good, and then eventually you had Mickie James that went there. So I think AEW really should have done that. They really should have. I mean, obviously bring women in, and this is where my Tim Allen, sexism impression is going to come in. You should have just had them there as characters, as eye candy. And there's nothing wrong. Again, there's no shame in bringing in women as eye candy, because lean into the screen really quick. That's why the show was popular back in the day, because of the divas. There were men that actually liked watching the divas. They liked watching bikini matches and lingerie pillow fights. That actually got ratings. I'm sorry, did I just speak facts? I mean, who didn't want to watch a bikini fight back in the day? I mean, yeah, it's good to see that the women are being taken seriously and they're actually treated as athletes. That's cool. But you're telling me you wouldn't want to see Tegan Nox in a bikini? If you saw Tegan Nox in a bikini, you're like, ew, gross. No. Tegan Nox is a beautiful woman. She has a nice figure. She looks good in a bikini. Charlotte, nice figure, looks good in a bikini. Sasha Banks, good-looking woman, looks good in a bikini. But yeah, it's good that they're being taken more seriously now instead of just piss break matches. But what I'm saying with AEW is what they should have done in the beginning is bring in more eye candy. And slowly build up your women's division, slowly bring in, good names, people from the independent circuit, people from Japan. You know what I mean? One thing that could really benefit them is if they open up their own developmental center. Open up their own performance center. Yeah, well, that's the point I was making, is that it's good to bring in eye candy, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is that the eye candy, I'm trying to say it in a way that doesn't make me sound like an asshole. Like, okay. Carmella was meant to be eye candy. Carmella was meant to be a sidekick. Bayley is a wrestler. Bayley is not eye candy. Bayley is a wrestler. She looks good. She's a good-looking woman. She's, I say it all the time. She's got a fat ass. Like her ass looks good in those jeans and those tights. But she's meant to be a wrestler. Becky Lynch is meant to be a wrestler. Charlotte's meant to be a wrestler. It's, I guess it's all about separating people. The women that can actually go, as opposed to. I guess no matter what I say, I'm going to sound like I'm being an asshole. But it's all about making sure the women that can wrestle, you build them up as wrestlers and athletes. And someone like a Brandy, who, to her credit, she hasn't really been wrestling lately, which is good. I mean, she's been taking up an awful lot of television time, but I think she knows, in my opinion, that she's more meant to be a character. I guess that's how I'm going to put it. Is it also works? It's also for the men too. There's wrestlers and then there's characters. James Ellsworth is a character. AJ Styles is a wrestler. Marco Stunt should be treated as a character and not a wrestler. Jungle Boy is a wrestler. That's the point I'm trying to make. But the women's division is not very good. I'm sorry. It's just an opinion. You can argue, but it's just an opinion. The division it needs some work. Eventually, as time goes on, they'll sign more names. They'll sign, better women in the company. So, again, only time will tell. Yeah, you're right, Antox. It's just under construction. But, what is it? She did 4. So she's the number 1 contender for Nyla Rose's championship. Then you got Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega versus Santana and Ortiz in a tag match. What happened to Adam Page? Is he sick? Is he staying home? I mean, quarantine. Okay, that makes sense. He'll be back for Double or Nothing. Yeah, that's good because I like Adam Page. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to make myself more comfortable. All right. Yeah, Adam Page, Antox just confirmed that he's quarantining. So, yeah, I mean, it's all about your health, I guess. Speaking of somebody who had to quarantine their health, Sami Zayn is no longer the Intercontinental Champion. He's been gone since, if I can recall, I think his last match was Mania. And then there was that whole situation where he went on Twitter and said what he said. And I don't know. I don't know if he made that personal decision to stay home or Vince told him to stay home. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to put on my tinfoil hat and Alex Jones it here, but yeah, he was quarantining and they decided to strip the title off of him. So, starting tomorrow on SmackDown, there will be a tournament for the Intercontinental Championship. So, poor Sami Zayn. I mean, I kind of feel sorry for him, but I don't. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I guess if you're a champion on the show, but then Adam, I don't know. I'm sounding kind of. If I sound kind of ignorant, I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just Adam. How long has Adam Page been out? Has he been out for like a month? Seems like he's been out for a while because I haven't seen him in a while. But yeah. Let's get back to AEW. I'll figure this out. But yeah, the match was okay. He's 28. Adam Page, yeah, he's pretty young. Yeah, the tag match was okay. The broken gimmick. I don't know. What do you think about the broken gimmick so far in AEW? Personally, I'm not a fan of it. Corbin says it's boring. I'm kind of leaning in that camp. I liked it in 2016. It was interesting back then. I think the Woken gimmick kind of sullied it a little bit because it just made him goofy. It made it even... Because when he was in TNA... I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer at talks, but like... It's not very good in AEW because they're trying to make him too goofy. Like they're apparently like he can teleport and then he can apparently shapeshift and become different versions of himself. And it's I don't know, I'm not feeling it. Like the way it was in Impact and when he was like over the Indies before he came back to WWE. You know, I liked it then. I wasn't like a massive fan of it, but I liked it. Like, I don't know. Like, I know it came out like 4 years ago, but it seems like it's very dated. It seems like a very dated gimmick. Like, for example, they did a vignette at the Hardy compound where he talked as Broken Matt, and he switched over to regular Matt. I personally liked him better as regular Matt. Like, he gave a better promo as regular Matt Hardy. Like, I think they should push him as just regular Matt Hardy. Because he can actually cut a good promo. And he's decent in the ring. He's not amazing in the ring, but he's decent. The broken gimmick I'm not crazy about. I think it's too goofy. And not that it wasn't goofy before, but I think it's goofy as in it's just tacky. But yeah, I mean, as Antox says, you know, as we get there eventually it'll warm up to people, but I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe the lack of fans is making it weird. I don't know, but let's see. Hardy Omega won, and what you call it? What was the next match? Yeah, Lee Johnson versus MJF. MJF just squashed him and beat the shit out of him. And put out a challenge to Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt, I guess, had won an open challenge for next week. And MJF signed his name on the contract. So it's going to be MJF and Marco Stunt next week on, I was going to say Impact. Not Impact, AEW. What's up, Sean? And I think that's the only exception I'll make for watching a Marco Stunt match is just seeing MJF beat the shit out of him. Hey, what's going on, buddy? So, I don't know. If MJF can just beat the ever-living piss out of Marco Stunt, like make him bleed, I'll be happy. I'll be a happy man. I don't want to see Marco Stunt get any offense. I just want to see MJF just fucking kill him. I'm pretty dark, am I? Like, Marco Stunt probably has never... Marco Stunt seems like he's probably a nice guy who does a lot for charity and never hurt anyone in his life, but I just want to see him get the shit beat out of him. They'll hire his brother. Who's his brother? Marco Stunt actually has a brother? That sounds kind of odd to say. Like, he has a brother? Like, is he shorter than him or as short? Logan, shorter. Like, is that like a legit thing? Like, he actually has a legit brother named Logan who's shorter than him? Oh my god. Logan Stunt. I literally didn't know this until now. Oh my god. And like, does he sound like a... Does he look 12 years old like him or younger? Oh my god. Wow. It's like, I'm short, but my brother's shorter than me. Yeah, MJF won, so he's going to face Stunt next week, and he's going to face Jungle Boy, Dumb or Nothing. Then he had Pineapple Pete versus Chris Jericho, which is the next match. Who is Pineapple Pete? Is he an actual wrestler, or is he just like a personality, like a YouTuber or something? Sugar Dunkerton. What the hell is Sugar Dunkerton? He's been a wrestler since 2003. He's been a wrestler since 2003? And he's never, like... I mean, I would imagine he's at a tryout somewhere. Like, has he actually, like, been in, like, anything WWE related, or on an Impact, or Ring of Honor? Like, where the hell has he been? Ah, man, he's been a wrestler since 2003. And he's just now showing up? Oh my god. That explains a lot, because this is going to be a squash match. Pineapple Pete gets he gets a little bit of offense in, and then Jericho hits him with the Judas Effect, which is the worst move ever in the history of wrestling. Like, it is the least, like, most lethal looking move I've ever seen in my life. And yet nobody kicks out of it. Like, if he had done the Lion Salt, he would have kicked out of it too. Or if he'd done the Codebreaker, he would have kicked out of it too. But somehow nobody manages to kick out of that Judas Effect, which is just basically a spinning forearm. Yeah, he's never been anywhere major. Has he never been signed anywhere, like, as a choice? Or is he just not very good? Because based on what I saw in this match, he's not very good. Sugar Duckington. Yeah, I'm seeing Marco Stunt's brother. Oh my god. That's mainly due to him being a journeyman. Yeah, because who's another guy that's been doing a lot of... I know there's another guy who's been like a big-time journeyman but's never been signed anywhere. There's another guy before him. I'm forgetting the name. Ugh. Yeah, he looks like a Logan. That reminds me of when I was watching... That reminds me of an episode of Tough Enough I was watching. When, the one that came out like 9 years ago. Like, there was only... Like, I don't even think anyone on that show ever got signed. Actually, scratch that. I think Cameron was the only one that got signed. and the guy who won, his name was Big Andy, and they ended up releasing him. They didn't even do anything with him. There's a deleted scene where all the guys were at a Raw, and one of the guys that was, I guess, part of the crew or part of the wrestlers, the Tough Enough wrestlers, he was friends with CM Punk, and he talked to CM Punk. And this guy had apparently been wrestling for like 7 years, and he's friends with CM Punk. And one of the guys was like, this guy's been wrestling for this long, and he's not Tough Enough? Like, why has he not been signed anywhere? It's like, that's... I don't know. I don't know if it's a thing, like, if it's a choice that he hasn't been signed anywhere, or it's because he's not very good. Because I heard the story about, like, Joey Ryan, that he had an NXT tryout, and up until that time he had been wrestling for 10 years. And I think one of the trainers was like, how long have you been wrestling? He's like, for 10 years. And he's like, you've been wrestling for 10 years and you don't know how to throw a punch? I think that was the story. That's the story of Joe Numbers. But oh, man. So after the Jericho match, Jericho destroyed Vanguard One. Vanguard One came out, and Jericho took a baseball bat and just destroyed him. So Vanguard One is dead. And it's all because of Jericho. Now Jericho's a heel. I mean, he was already a heel, but he's the biggest heel in the business for destroying a prop Vanguard, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Bleacher Report gave the match an A. They gave a squash match an A. I don't know what to say about that. Alright. Here and again, another fast forward, and this is actually the main event. Chris Daniels versus Brody Lee. In 2020, Christopher Daniels is main eventing a TV show. A wrestling TV show. He's in the main event. I refuse to watch that. I'm sorry, didn't want to watch it. Brody Lee, I had high hopes for the guy coming into AEW. Like, hopefully he would be something. But they decided to give him a bathrobe and really shitty wrestling gear. And it looks like he just hasn't... Like, even when he debuted in AEW, it looked like he hadn't even been working out. Like, he just said, I'm gonna get paid, so fuck it. Like, when he was in the Wyatt family, the dude, I mean, he wasn't, like, cut, but he at least looked intimidating. He does not look intimidating in AEW. And it didn't help that they're having him cut these Vince McMahon promos. And it just... him versus Moxley at Double or Nothing. It's a Double or Nothing, right? It's just... I have no interest in that. It's bad. And I like Moxley. But... Moxley tends to do a lot better in matches where the other guy is better at him, or better than him. Like, his match with Omega was good. Because Omega, again, not the biggest Omega fan, but Omega, as far as a wrestler, is better than Moxley. Moxley's more of a brawler. But Moxley and Brody, like two brawlers, unless it's a hardcore match. If they give us some type of stipulation, like, this is a street fight, like, then, okay, we're fine. But a wrestling match between these two, it's not going to work. And I have a feeling that this isn't going to be their only match. Like, they're going to want to stretch this out. But, yeah, that was AEW. And they also announced that Mike Tyson will present the new TNT title at Double or Nothing. Which that'll be interesting. Let's see, Antok said it's probably going to be either finals of the TNT tournament or the 5-on-5 Stadium Stampede. Stadium Stampede? Is that what that, was it that Blood and Guts thing? Where it was like their own version of War Games? Like, they were supposed to have it and then the pandemic happened, so they had to scrap it? Is that what that's supposed to be? think it's them battling in a TIAA football stadium. So is it going to be a wrestling match or like a tornado, anything goes tag match? That actually sounds interesting. But, yeah, that was AEW. And then Sting is no longer under WWE contract. There's, rumors of him heading over to AEW, which I don't know about that. The point of AEW is that we're pushing we're pushing the younger talents. Let's bring in a 55-year-old man. They brought in Jake, but Jake's not wrestling. So, I just think Sting should just call it a day. So yeah, let's go to NXT. Alright, the show opens up with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher versus Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel, the Walters group. I was going to call them the Elite. Imperium, there you go. It's probably going to be a clusterfuck with the Inner Circle. Yeah, it'll probably be a clusterfuck more than likely. I mean, it might be entertaining, but it'll be a clusterfuck. But yeah, good tag team match between these two. Timothy Thatcher walked out on Matt Riddle. So Matt Riddle's by himself, and Imperium ended up winning the tag titles. After the match, they asked Thatcher, why he did what he did. And he said, pretty much, he got tired of Matt Riddle's, antics. He asked, the whole bro thing and being a goofball, which I thought that was interesting. I like that. I think if he did the whole, I hate Matt Riddle because Matt Riddle's a jerk. He's a jerk. I hate him. I never liked him. I never even wanted to be his tag partner. I think if they had done that, it would have been dumb. But I liked. Yeah, it seems weird after 2 weeks. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I think they probably should have waited maybe at least a month. I think what would have been more interesting is if they had waited for Pete Dunne to at least be back. So that way Pete Dunne could come and be like, okay, I'm back. And Matt Suso, bro, Stallion, bro, Dunne, bro, Pete, bro, whatever the fuck he calls him. You're back. And then Thatcher just kind of gets pushed off to the side. And then that's when you have Thatcher turn heel on, Riddle. Or you could have done something where, Matt Riddle and Thatcher become a lot closer than Pete Dunne. And Pete Dunne, pisses him. He's like, what the hell? I'm supposed to be your tag partner. So, Thatcher's kind of boring. His whole thing is he's an ass kicker. They should really not have him talk at all. Just go out there and beat the shit out of people. But, then that sets up their main event match, Thatcher and Riddle. Later in the night. Alright. What was the next match? Indy Hartwell versus Tegan Nox. The highlight of this match was Tegan Nox in her tight shorts. She looks fucking good. Good. She did something with her hair too, so she looks pretty good. There's something that kind of made me laugh that Morrow said. Indy Hartwell, she said, I'm trying to remember how he worded it. He's like, some say she's impressive. I was like, okay, you made it sound that important. I guess that's her gimmick, is that she's impressive. Or she's going to call people impressive. But whatever. Tegan Nox wins with the shiniest wizard. Again, I already told you what my highlight was. And what was the next thing? Cruiserweight match. Tony Nese versus Jake Atlas. Okay match. Tony Nese is really not that interesting. He's a giant bowl of meh. He just has a nice physique. He doesn't do anything special. He's not that special on the mic. Jake Atlas, I like his finish, but eventually he's going to need to change that. Atlas wins the match. There's a Karrion Kross promo. I'm just going to call him Cross. I hate that name. I was trying to think that I'd be okay with that name. I really hate that name. Karrion Kross. I'm just going to call him Cross. Okay. Eventually they're going to call him Cross. Yeah, he puts out a promo. It has the theme from Armageddon, not the movie, but the old Armageddon pay-per-view, The End Is Near, which I thought was interesting. He ended up cutting a pretty good promo, acknowledging that he's the bad guy, that he's an awful person. Eventually it's going to be him and Ciampa. I'm assuming it's going to be next month. Or maybe... Or I was going to say SummerSlam, but they've apparently pushed SummerSlam to the fall. So... But... Yeah, Jim Cornette was not crazy about Cross. I was talking to Kevin Castle about it. I'd sent him the link and I asked him about Cross, and we both agreed. Jim Cornette's take on Cross, it comes across as somebody who doesn't know Cross that well, who's never. I don't even think he's even watched his matches. So he compared him to Mark Miro. He compared him to Mark Miro, and he referred to Scarlett Bordeaux as Sable, in that eventually she's going to become the bigger star than him. And again, as much as I respect Cornette, he was wrong. Because again, I don't even think he's ever watched Cross. Because Cross can actually talk, he can wrestle. Scarlett can actually talk and she can wrestle. Sable was not entertaining. Sable only got over because of how she looked. So, and he's going to eat his words. Cornette's been kind of going on a spree of just trashing everybody he doesn't like. People that we love that he hates. We'll get to that eventually. But after that, you had Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes. During the match, you had Damian Priest come out and attack Finn Balor, and costing the match against Grimes. And then Priest revealed that he was the one that attacked Finn Balor a couple weeks ago. So you have that feud to look forward to. So I guess Finn Balor's a face now. Cool. Let's see. And yeah, Jack Gallagher versus Isaiah Scott. Fast forwarded. Caden Carter versus Aaliyah, or Carmella, Darker Carmella, whatever you want to call her. Let's see. Caden Carter won. And Robert Stone was trying to recruit her, but just lost interest. The main event was Matt Hardy. Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher. Let's see. Yeah, again, a good match between these two. Two submission specialists. One thing I'm going to say about Matt Riddle is I wish he would cut. Here's one thing. I like Matt Riddle, but there's some things about him that bother me. I kind of wish he would be a little bit more serious in the ring. Like, his whole gimmick is that he's the bro, and then he comes out smiling and acting like a goofball. That's all well and good, but I need to see him be an ass kicker. And the guy's a legit ass kicker. He was in UFC, he was in MMA. He could beat the fuck out of me and everybody else in this room. He needs to be a little bit more like that, and less of the, RVD bro, RVD pothead bro. So I need to see a little bit more out of him, more of that out of him. And then Timothy Thatcher, again, his whole thing is he's a submission guy. He's bland as toast, but he's good. So they had a pretty good match. Riddle wins, rolling him over. And after the show, Thatcher just beat the shit out of Riddle and applying his vicious armbar. So that was NXT. And also they announced that the next NXT TakeOver will be in your house, which is interesting. And that'll be on June 6th, June 7th. So it's interesting. So they're going to give like the old pay-per-view names to NXT, because that'd be interesting. Bring back Unforgiven. Bring back One Night Stand. Even though they probably won't do that. But. So yeah, NXT. I think both shows. I had to pick, I'd say NXT was a lot better this week. But the ratings will probably tell me different. Let me find out what the ratings were. Was this today? It's today, May 14th. Okay, then I was wrong. Well, ratings-wise, I'm on. So I'm looking at the ratings right now. This is on WrestlingInc.com. Dicks. AEW wins. AEW drew 654,000. NXT drew 604,000. Let's see. AEW ranked 15 in the cable top 150, while NXT ranked number 46. AEW ranked 65 in viewership, while NXT ranked 67 in viewership. This is the lowest AEW viewership in the history of the show, and the fourth lowest NXT viewership since the show came to USA. Oh yes, it's pretty bad, Sean. Last week's Dynamite episode drew 732,000. So that's what? That's like that's 78. So they lost 78. That's a 78. Was it 78,000 drop? Jesus. Last week NXT drew 663,000. So they lost 29,000 viewers. That is bad. That's pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, what else can I say? But other than that's just bad. That's an embarrassingly shocking drop in the ratings. I mean, at least Raw still gets their 1.9s and their 2-point-somethings. NXT and AEW, they're barely clawing at, 7,000, 8,000, 800,000 viewers. So it's pretty bad. I mean, both shows weren't exactly great. I mean, in my opinion, personally, I think NXT had the better show. But obviously the ratings tell me wrong, but it was like this even before the pandemic. I mean, I think the only time either show ever got a 1-point-something was the debuts of the shows. When NXT debuted on USA, when AEW debuted on TNT. As a matter of fact, let me look it up. Oh, I thought I had it. Never mind. Yeah, the ratings have been dropping for both shows. It's pretty bad. The last time they even had a 900 and anything was the March 18th episode. They had 932,000 views. Ever since then, they dropped from 800,000. They had 700,000 last week. And now they've dropped to 654,000. You look at NXT, the highest rating that they've had this whole, this new year was, I'm looking at it right now, 794,000 on the February 19th episode. And that was their post-takeover episode. Ever since then, it's just been 500s and 600s. It's pretty bad. Personally, I think NXT has a better show, but it's not saying much because both shows aren't very good. And again, it's the lack of fans. I mean, with AEW, they're at least having the wrestlers and the employees surround the ring as fans. NXT, I don't see why they're not doing that. I have no clue why they're not doing that. I don't see... Maybe it's a thing that... Maybe Triple H wants to do it, and Vince doesn't want to do it. Vince doesn't get it. I was talking to somebody about this on Twitter, where it's just like, they could easily do that. WWE has unlimited resources. They have something AEW doesn't. They have so much shit. They have, and that includes people. They have a lot of employees under contract. A lot. They have so many, developmental talent that they haven't even been using yet. They have people working in the back, tech people. They have agents. You're telling me you can't use you can't use maybe 20, 30 of those motherfuckers and have them surround the ring and act as fans? Have one half be the heels and have the other half be the faces? And then have other people just stand in the back? You're telling me you can't do that. I mean, it wouldn't drastically improve the show, but it would at least, as a fan, as you're watching it, you won't be as depressed to see all these empty seats. And, NXT, they don't have the empty seats. They, took out the seats to their credit. But fuck, have the wrestlers do something. Let people be entertaining. Let them have fun. Yeah, also wasn't there didn't Florida just announce a rule that AEW and NXT can start letting people in their arenas? Not a lot of people, but a couple at a time. Wasn't that a thing? I mean, I guess WWE, they're so pompous, they want to do the whole, I have 30 people, we can just fill an arena. We're going to wait till this thing's over so we can actually fill the arena. It's just dude, just be cool. Come on. But that's wrestling in a nutshell for you. Money in the Bank. I won't really go through every match. The Drew McIntyre and Seth match was really good. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was the greatest match I ever saw in my life. It didn't light the world on fire, but it was a good match, good back and forth action. It's weird because a lot of people liked it. Wrestling Soup did not like the match at all. And again, it's not shitting on anyone that doesn't like anything. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but they did not like the match at all. And I can get why. I can understand. But poor Drew. Poor Drew. It's just when he was finally starting to connect with the crowd and actually get a reaction, it's we can't have any more fans. We can't have fans in the arenas now because of this global pandemic that's killing people. So it's just he's finally achieved his dream, but it's actually the worst thing that ever happened to him. It's just imagine if there was a crowd there, they'd be cheering for him. But yeah, him and Seth had a really good match at Mania. Or not Mania, Money in the Bank. Pretty good match, good back and forth. After the match, Drew McIntyre shakes Seth's hand. Seth kind of begrudgingly shakes his hand. And then the very next night on Raw, he's kind of looks weird, coming off the heels of his fiance announcing that she's pregnant. And if anyone doesn't know, Becky Lynch announced on Monday that she will be a mom. She had to. She opened the show by coming out with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Asuka came out. Asuka, who won Money in the Bank, which we'll get into that match later on. She opened the briefcase saying, "The title's yours, take it. I have to leave." Asuka gets out. Asuka just seems like she's having fun in this role. Because they build her up as, this badass and this serious wrestler, and then they decided to tone it down. I mean, she could have easily just, phoned it in, but she is having fun. She's having fun just going out there and being entertaining, just kind of acting like a goof. And you see her in her social media, she looks like she's actually kind of like that in real life. She kind of has this goofy, oddball, quirky personality. But she can back it up by going in the ring and kicking bitches in the head. So Becky tells her, you have fun being a warrior. I'm going to go have fun being a mom. And a part of me thinks that Asuka didn't know that Becky was going to say that. Because her reaction looked genuine. Like she was genuinely happy for Becky. And you can't fake that. And Becky, like, the promo that she gave was good. I liked it. Because, again, it seemed like I see what she was saying and I just go, oh, that's a human being. That seems like something a human being would say. Like she's saying, I'm going to miss you guys. I'm going to miss everybody. You know, and I came into this company in 2012, 2013, and I worked my ass off and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It works for her. I mean, as much shit as we gave Becky in the past months, you know, because, and deservedly so, because, you know, and it's not her fault. It's the company's fault. You know, the way they were shoving her in everyone's face. Becky, at the end of the day, is still a likable person. She seems like a nice chick. She seems like someone you can meet and say hi to, and she'll say hi back. Like, if I saw Becky Lynch on the street, you know, and I say hi to her, she would say hi back, and, you know, she'd give me a hug. While Seth just stands in the corner, you know, glaring at me like a cunt. But, yeah, Becky's cool as fuck. Her fiance is kind of a dick, but she's cool as fuck. So, Becky's going to be out for a while. And by a while, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if she was gone for at least 2 years. Because, you know, obviously it's going to take 9 months to have that baby. She's going to take as much time as she needs. And the company, she's a big star. The company has got to let her have all the time she needs. Kind of like with Roman Reigns right now. His wife is going to have twins. So he's going to be out for a while. He probably will miss Mania next year. So I think of Becky, she's going to miss Mania next year. She might even miss the Mania after that. But, you know, I was going to say Sasha. Asuka, I'm going to have to agree with what I hear about her. She's been the MVP of the women's division. I mean, and the reason why we don't give it to someone like Charlotte is Charlotte's just already good. I mean, as much shit as we got to give Charlotte is just good. She's just naturally great. And Asuka, I say that with Asuka because she has been pushed and de-pushed and pushed and de-pushed, and she's been able to make everything work. And the company recognizes that and goes, okay, let's reward her for this. That's why she's the MVP of this women's division, because she can back it up in the ring, but she's also been able to go out there and have fun. Her going out there just saying gibberish in Japanese, I think, is funny. It's just funny. But I was able to catch the promo that Shayna Baszler made about Becky Lynch. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I'm gonna look it up because I watched it and it was too fucking funny. I loved every minute of it. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Right. Okay, here we go.
Fantastic piece of news. Becky Lynch.
Come on. Okay, here we go. If you guys can hear it, let me know.
Shayna, excuse me. I wanted to get your reaction to the news about Becky's pregnancy. Reaction. How stupid do you have to be to get knocked up when you're the champion? Here's a fact. 10 out of 10 mothers will try to convince you that pregnancy didn't ruin their careers. You're trying to tell me Becky Lynch becomes the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion and throws that all away just to house some miserable parasite?
Oh my god.
Imagine the man, barefoot, fat, on the couch eating bonbons. Yeah, that kid's gonna suck. You know who the father is? I rest my case.
It's still fun. It's still amazing. I like how she just says, that kid's gonna suck. Oh my god. And then a nice little dig at Seth. She's like, you know who the father is? I rest my case. Oh man. I don't know about you. That almost seemed like it was a shoot. Like, it wasn't just a scripted thing. Like, it seemed like that was something that she kind of felt. I wouldn't be surprised if Shayna just hates Becky. Oh, man. I want that as a shirt. If that shirt ever comes out, that kid's gonna suck. I will buy it. I will buy it. I'll be the first one to buy it. Like, that is just... That's too fucking funny. That kid's gonna suck. That could be the title of tonight's episode. That kid's gonna suck. Oh, Shayna. Shayna's amazing. I love her. Let's see, Money in the Bank. Let's go back to Money in the Bank. Yeah, Raw wasn't really that interesting. That was really the only interesting part of Raw. In my opinion. Let's see, so Money in the Bank, are the Drew and Seth match. The other matches, Bray versus Braun, was dumb. It was just bad. And the match itself was okay. But the whole thing with the puppets coming out at the end, Braun really should have just went crazy and just destroyed those puppets. Let's see. In the main event, you had, for the first time ever, you had the Money in the Bank match where both the men and the women's match was happening at the same time. And it was pre-recorded. They recorded at Titan Towers, where the match would take place on top of Titan Towers. And it was almost like a video game, because you had the men and the women starting off in different areas of the building. And here's the weird thing, is I listened to Jim Cornette's take on it. He pointed out it's only 4 floors, and they made it seem like it was almost like the what was it, the building in Die Hard, the Nagasaki building? Was that what it was called? And they showed the overview of the building. I'm like, that's kind of a relatively small building. I mean, it's big, but it's kind of small. It's almost like a how do you want to put it? It's kind of, I guess it's kind of like a big Walmart, like a small Walmart, if that makes sense. So the women started off in the lobby. You had Nia Jax, you had Dana Brooke, for whatever reason. You had, hold on, let me pull up the match, because my mind's gone blank. Let's see. Alright, so for the women, you had Asuka, who ended up winning. You had Carmella, who's looking even more plastic than ever. And who looks like she got, big fake titties. Guessing Corey wanted them. You had Dana Brooke, who, again, was looking more plastic than ever. You had Lacey Evans, you had Nia Jax, and you had Shayna Baszler. They started off in the lobby. Asuka was missing. Asuka was already upstairs. She was already near the elevator, and then she decides to jump off and hit everybody, which, again, in wrestling, why is it when somebody's jumping off something, the wrestlers are just conveniently waiting there for them to catch them? I'll try to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. So I don't want to cut into wrestling soup time. But, yeah, that's one thing I never got. It's like, in real life, if someone's waiting to jump onto somebody and they're just waiting there, that person's going to get out of the way so that person can just fall. I don't know. Wrestling's weird. For the men, you had Otis, who won his, and you had AJ Styles, you had Aleister Black, you had Daniel Bryan, you had King Corbin, you had Rey Mysterio. They started off in Vince McMahon's gym. So they all have their schmas. There's a bit where King Corbin was trying to throw a weight at somebody, and he ended up hitting the mirror. So he broke Vince McMahon's mirror. His own personal gym, pal. There was a bit where Otis left a weight bar on AJ Styles, and AJ Styles looks over at Ray. He's like, "Help! You're gonna help me?" Ray's like, "Eh," and he just walks away. So I thought that was kind of funny. In all actuality, I think AJ Styles could have just easily just moved it, but he had to act like he was in pain and struggling. Alright. They're going all through the floor. Baron was dumb in this match, but he got screwed. He didn't get screwed. He didn't really get screwed. He just shouldn't have won the match. But let's see. There's a bit where AJ is looking for Ray, and then he opens this room, and there's a coffin in there. And there's blue lighting, so he starts to have, PTSD flashbacks about the Boneyard match. Aleister Black kicks him in there and closes the door. There's something else. There's a bit where Dana Brooke, she goes into the office and she finds an actual money in a briefcase. And Stephanie McMahon just randomly appears like, "What are you doing? That's not the briefcase. It's up on the roof." Somebody, I'm forgetting who. I think it was Carmella. She ends up hitting Dana Brooke over the head with with a giant poster. Alright. And then not Buddy Love. Was it? Oh, Brother Love. There you go. Brother Love appears in the restroom for some reason. There's a lot of cameos in this. Doink the Clown, which actually that wasn't Doink the Clown. That was actually I think that was Noelle Foley's boyfriend, because she's dating Frank the Clown. Which, how did he learn that? I mean, the day that she dumps that guy, it is gonna be depressing as fuck. Like, you're gonna need to really watch out for that guy when she ends up leaving his ass. And then there was a bit where Paul Heyman's sitting around catering. He's looking at all this food. He decides to eat a sub. And then the men and the women join up, and then there ends up being a food fight. Paul Heyman has all this schmoz all over his face. Everybody has a food fight. There's a bit where Shayna Baszler puts her submission move on Ray, and then Ray ends up getting sandwiched between Nia Jax and Otis. So they end up running off. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan are fighting, and then they end up in Vince McMahon's office. And Vince McMahon is in the office. He takes one look at Daniel Bryan and AJ and goes, "Out!" And, Daniel Bryan and AJ just go, "Sorry." And then Daniel Bryan is telling AJ, set up the chairs. Put the chairs back. So they put the chairs back and they, walk out of the office. Jim Cornette said that buried him. It's like, no, they didn't bury him. It's not going to bury him. What happened after that? Well, they meet up on the roof. There's a point where Corbin I think he was climbing up on the ladder, and Asuka knocked him off and ended up getting the briefcase. So I was going for Shayna, but I'm glad that Asuka won. So, all right. Corbin throws Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio off the roof, but they, revealed next night on Raw that they didn't really fall off the roof. They fell off, onto the other part of the roof, which, okay. Who else? AJ's climb up on a ladder. Corbin climbs up, and him and AJ both have their hands on the briefcase. They have both unhooked the briefcase, but they both have their hands on it. And then Elias comes out of nowhere and hits Corbin on the back with his guitar. So I guess that continues that feud. So now AJ has the briefcase, but somehow it slips out of his hands, and it lands in Otis's hands. So now Otis is the new Money in the Bank contract winner. I'm glad Otis won. I made my thoughts about the ending of the match very clear. I thought it was fucking stupid how he won. Like, I don't know if Otis can physically actually climb a ladder because Otis is a big boy. He's a big boy. And he climbed the ladder, so I don't know. I guess he physically couldn't climb the ladder, but they had to find a way for him to win. But he ended up climbing the ladder after he won to pose with the briefcase, but yeah, what do I know? He should have used the Big Show ladder. Yeah, I agree. He's a thick boy. He's a big bone. He's big boned. He's not fat. He's big boned. They should have just given him his own like specialized custom ladder. Would have made a lot more sense. But now Otis is the Money in the Bank briefcase winner. Yeah. The idea behind Money in the Bank, the whole the let's make it a mini movie, I was fine with. I didn't have a problem with it. They tried to make it a little bit too skitty. This is like Scooby-Doo meets Benny Hill. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't do the whole Daniel Bryan is chasing AJ Styles, and then they go into a room, and then they come out of another room, and all of a sudden you see a dog on a unicycle. Like, I'm surprised they didn't do that, but I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't hate it. I just hated how it ended. It's like, why didn't Otis climb the ladder to win it? Why did AJ have to lose the briefcase and have it land in Otis's hands? So, again, I'm fine with Otis. I like him. I like his gimmick. Again, comes off as a likable person. Is he can he do a Falcon Arrow? No. I mean, but he has a good character. His character is he can beat the shit out of people. He's a nice guy, but you piss him off, he will beat the shit out of you. Jim Cornette's not a fan of Otis. He even said, I despise Otis. Which, it's Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette is very old school. He makes it very clear on who he likes and who he doesn't like and what he likes and what he doesn't like. Joe Numbers made it clear. Otis is a guy 15 years ago that would have been a mid-card guy at best. Nowadays, we're in a shortage of guys that have personalities. Otis has a personality. He has a character that people like, that resonates with them. So, to have him be, I guess the top babyface, it makes sense. I'm fine with it. But, again, I just didn't like how he won. But, I said I was going to end in about 3 minutes. I'll just review Dark Side of the Ring real quick. The Road Warriors episode. I liked it. I liked every bit of it. It really shed a light on the relationship between Hawk and Animal, because when you watch it, how their relationship began was that they actually met, in a gym. Like Hawk literally just went up to him and just like grabbed the barbell and said, you're not, I think he said like you're not lifting enough or something. And they actually became friends by being bouncers at a club, or not a club, a bar. It's almost like something out of a movie, which is weird. So they both end up getting picked to be wrestlers in other territories. Like, because before, Animal just started out as the Road Warrior. And then Hawk was like in a wrestling territory in Canada. So, and then eventually their paths crossed, and Animal was like, I know this guy who can be my tag partner. So they became the Road Warriors, and I wasn't alive around that time, but those guys are over as fuck. Like, those guys were used constantly. Anywhere they went, they were the main event. Anywhere they went, they had the biggest reaction of the night. I think Animal had said when they were in Japan, they had more people surrounding him than Michael Jackson. And that's big. That's pretty big. They were over like Rover. They came to WWF and they were still over. the reason why they couldn't be the Road Warriors was because they had the Ultimate Warrior and they had, was it the original Warrior, Kerry Von Erich. So they decided to use Legion of Doom, which Vince was like, oh my god, that's so cool, let's use Legion of Doom. What eventually kind of stopped their push was the fact that, Hawk, had his demons. He has personal problems. They show up, they're at a SummerSlam, they're supposed to be, one of the bigger matches. But because, Hawk was so, messed up, they ended up getting pushed into, like, the second match of the night. And you watch that match, Hawk just looks out of it. He looks inebriated, and after that, they pretty much left the company. And, they disbanded Hawk, and I'm going to Japan and, picking someone else to take Animal's place. Eventually, they found their way back to WWF. But what draws, this I remember. I remember this gimmick, because they were using Hawk's personal life as a storyline, which was bad. It was not very good. I didn't enjoy it. I don't have a problem with them using certain aspects of somebody's personal life in a storyline. But when they want to expose somebody's actual demons and make money off of it, I don't like it. They tried to do it with Jeff Hardy, the Jeff Hardy and CM Punk storyline. It worked to a degree, but then they started going a little overboard with it. I do remember, Hawk being pushed off the Titantron by Droz, and then that was the end of that gimmick. Eventually, Hawk did find his way. He found his, his path. He became a Christian, born again Christian. Became sober. He was already getting married. He found his fiance, and they were literally moving into their house, and he has a heart attack. Well, not a heart attack, but they didn't say heart attack, but they said he had a heart condition. He just fell asleep and he passed away. Paul Ellering, he got me choked up because, he's talking about how he had to give, a eulogy at Hawk's funeral. And he's getting me choked up just talking about it. Other guys like Scott Norton, they're getting choked up. All in all, it was a good documentary. If you're a fan of them, even if you don't really know about them that well, it's good to watch these documentaries so that way you can learn. You can learn about the past. I'm young. I don't know a lot about a lot of these names. It's good. It's a good learning experience. My cousin, she's a wrestling fan. I already got her hooked on the Dark Side of the Ring series because she saw me post something about it, for the Owen Hart documentary this next week. I told her about it. I sent her the links, and she's already watched the Benoit episode. I forget the other two she said she watched, and she's already hooked. So, these documentaries are good. I just wish a lot of them were a little bit longer. They could really benefit from at least being an hour and a half, in my opinion. But yeah, the Owen Hart documentary is next week. It's going to be a 2-parter, which is good, deservingly so. And you're definitely going to hear a review from me about it. So, yeah, that's the end of the show. We did an hour and a half, or close to an hour and a half. So, I will wrap it up. Wrestling Soup will be in 7 minutes. Shout out to Wrestling Soup. Go to the Patreon. John Draper, Anthony Missionary Thomas, Joe Numbers. Shout out to TTKC. Go to their Patreon. Shout out to Trez. She's on a show with Kevin Castle on their Patreon, KNT Chronicles. Sorry, I had wings, so they're coming back up. Shout out to False Count Radio. Shout out to Wrestling Overdose with Shaheen. Also head on over to Nuclear Heat Graphics. He's the man. He created 2 logos for me. So if you want some logo artwork done, Shaheen's the man to go to. Yuck Nasty Dogger Baby. Yuck Nasty made my theme for the show. Who else am I forgetting? Brian J. BK Brian. B-Show Brian. He has 2 podcasts. He has a horror podcast and a wrestling podcast. So look out for that. Who else am I forgetting? Tyler the Trademark. Look out for his podcast. And just pretty much everyone. Pretty much everyone that has a podcast. Show them some love. Show our podcasting brothers and them some love. But yeah, that's the show tonight. Wrestling Soup will be in 5 minutes. Heading over there. I'll see you guys over there in a bit. And thank you guys for showing up. Sean, Antox, and Super Barrett Corbin. Take care, guys. Have a great night. And I'll see you in the soup. Peace.